Howdy! Welcome back to the Cole Fam's Mega March Special Edition of Mega Memories. I'm ShadowrockCX, and for my second Mega Memory, we're gonna talk about my guilty pleasure. No. Get your mind out the gutter. I'm talking about Mega Man X6, the game that every X fan loves to dunk on. But I got a little secret. I was incredibly hyped for this game. It all started when my uncle first bought Mega Man X5, and that game ended up taking me from someone who likes Mega Man to someone who's freaking fanatic about Mega Man. I didn't care about Mega Man stories as much until X5 happened. And it was very tragic and sad that Zero died at the end of X5. I barely knew him too, considering that I literally went from X1, where he also died by the way, straight to X5. I didn't play the games in between. Well, now I gotta know what happened before. So I went to my local game store to get X4, or that's another funny story. When I got to my local game store, I said, "Can I get Mega Man 14? You see, back then, some of us thought that it was not Mega Man X, but rather Mega Man 10. So it would follow that X5 was 15 and so on. The clerk at the game store replied, you mean X4? Oh yeah, of course. X4. Right. So I played that, another amazing title. So now I was all hyped and ready for the next chapter in the Mega Man X saga, X6. Which I saw for the first time in Game Informer magazine. In the screenshots, you saw X in his Falcon armor, and I'll tell you something, I think that was the first time I ever saw Falcon armor, even though it's from X5. I don't think I ever got the Falcon armor legit for some reason. So, it may as well have been a brand new armor for me, so I'm like, oh my god, this armor looks so freaking cool, what the heck. And you know, from that moment on, Falcon armor was my favorite armor design of all time. But also, of course, as part of the marketing, you see X with Zero Saber. I'm like, oh dude, that's so cool, he actually took his saber from the ending sequence and like actually brings it into the gameplay now. What a galaxy brain idea. Eventually, the day finally came. I was there from day one, frame one, when Mega Man X6 came out. And I went to that same game store where I got X4, came home with a copy of X6. Booting it up for the first time on my PS1, I remember being blown away by the opening sequence. Even though it was just a fancy recap of X5, it was still quite the jump in production value over X5's cutscenes, which was what I was used to. I immediately fell in love with the Moonlight and the Answer vocal tracks, even though you only heard the Answer for like a split second at the very end. I didn't even know it was an entirely separate track at the time. But anyway, I moved on, played the intro stage, and a little bit more after that I think. And of course, it was awesome. Just using the saber as X. He wasn't as proficient at using the saber as Zero was, but hey, it was still neat. Then there was the Nightmare Zero reveal. Like, oh my goodness, things are getting real. Is Zero actually still alive? And of course, High Max and all that too. But shortly after that, I had to go with my parents somewhere. And in the car, I was telling my parents how hyped I was about X6. I was telling them how cool the opening was, and here's my little rendition of what the intro sounded like. Save the world, save the world. Yeah, that's all I got out of it. To be fair, most of it was in Japanese. There's some English here and there, but yeah, it's not every day that they actually bring the Japanese vocal track to the West. So it was quite the brand new experience to hear Japanese being sung in my video games. Anyway, returned home and played X6 for many more weeks. It didn't really dawn on me that it was a quote-unquote bad game. I just knew it was really, really hard. Actually, the very first time that I figured out that people may not like X6 so much was when I finally got internet access at my parents' home, went online for the first time, and stumbled upon the great Clement's Mega Man X6 playthrough, where he started every video with, "I hate this game." Oh, well, why? And that is when it dawned on me. Anyway, I had a tough time just getting to the point that I made it to the gate stages, and I got stuck on gate 1. At that first wall of spikes that you either need to use the ice burst of X to get over, or double jump of 0. But for the longest time I couldn't figure it out. And even when I did get past that, there was many more walls of spikes and other absolute bullcrap to deal with. So I never actually beat X6 until a bit later when the X Collection came out on the GameCube. That's how I ended up filling in the blanks of playing all the other X games I missed out on as well. Otherwise, that was my first experience of X6. Shoutouts to the happiest I've ever seen X when he finally got reunited with his best friend Zero. And I don't think I've ever seen Zero blush so much even when Iris was around. What a great set of emoji material, right? Well, thank you all for watching, and thank you ColeFam for having me on. For more Mega Memories like this, definitely check out my own Mega Memory series, where you can learn about my own personal memories with a bunch of Mega Man games, starting with Mega Man 3, and the next episode, upcoming, Mega Man X, going in the order that I originally experienced the series. ColeFam should have a link in the description, so I would really appreciate you if you would check it out. Thanks everybody, and until the next one, rock on.